Hello, guys. Welcome back to SWS Boxing. Delighted to be joined with Chris Liddell, former guest of the channel, and he is now 5 wins, 1 defeat. Back out this weekend at the Gridwood Community Hub in Belfast, and he's fighting for the Celtic flyweight title against quin over 10 rounds. But yeah, before we get into that, how are you? And good to get you back on.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, I'm good, thanks. I'm all good. How are you doing?
I'm good, mate. So we had you on, I think, September last year, and you were talking about the Scott McCormack fight, and what a fight that was, and it was 58-56, and just talk about the fight, because it was just a full out war, that one.
Aye, that was actually a really tough fight. Scott McCormack obviously never been stopped, and he's just very, very awkward. Just constantly there, throwing shots with some weird angles, but it obviously works. So it was a pretty tough one. But I was glad to get through it and happy to get my hand raised at the end of it.
Was there any nerves going into the fight, like, as it was a sort of Scottish derby in a way?
Nah, I think it's normal to get nervous for all fights. I kind of just stay the same pretty much for all my fights. A wee bit of nerves is normal, but nothing more nervous than I normally would be. But I was more glad to get that fight out of the way as well because I was actually supposed to fight him a few weeks earlier, but the Queen had passed away, so it kind of opponents get changed and stuff like that. So it was kind of almost camp ran on a bit long for that one, just for the because the fight get moved. So it was a bit of a relief as well, just to get that one overdone with.
And was he as tough as you expected?
I kind of knew what to expect him a wee bit, but I tough. It was awkward. It was awkward to say the least. You kind of didn't know where the shots were coming from, and it was just constant. He was a very tough opponent. He was a tough opponent.
And how, when it went to decision, how confident were you that you were going to get the nod?
Yeah, I was fairly confident. I kept my shape and stuff, and stuck to my boxing. I think I kind of boxed in the back foot a wee bit more in that fight. But yeah, no, I was fairly confident that I'd done enough to get the decision. And looking back now, that was obviously actually at just over bantamweight that fight. So I've obviously come down the weights a bit more since then. So yeah, so the lower weights obviously suit me a bit better, but it was good to mix it up with somebody that had been in with he's been in with the likes of Bateson and some of these other top level guys. So it was good.
And also, then you fought early this year at the Crown Plaza Hotel in Glasgow. You fought Gabriel Jamba, who I think he's Colombian.
I actually think he was from Africa.
Oh,
Um,
sorry.
I know, so that's all right. He was from Africa. I think he had fought for an Africa title as well. Had a winning record. Very, very good guy. That was a good test. I really enjoyed that fight. That was obviously me making kind of between flyweight and super fly for that one. And felt good, felt strong. Was really happy with my performance for that one, and I think it was again a really good opponent, a tough opponent.
Yeah, because with you, you had one sort of comeback fight against Luke Merrifield, and then with you, straight back into the deep end, because that's what you said you wanted. Scott, because Scott's a good fighter, so's Gabriel, and even though Castro doesn't have a brilliant record, but he is very well, we'll get onto that fight now. But yeah, Castro's he's an awkward fella, isn't he?
I think as well. If you look at Castro's record, that was actually the first fighter he had kind of in the UK. So I kind of feel I've actually watched a few of his fights since my fight. And I certainly think he came to win against myself. Now, when I've seen him in with some of these other guys recently, he's very much playing the game as the journeyman now. But in that fight against me, I feel as if he was right up for it.
Oh, you haven't had it easy, your comeback, but I mean, you wanted to go straight back in the deep end. You've had these hard challenges and you've always wanted to get back in the title picture. And here we are, I think you said you wanted the Scottish title, but I think the Celtics like gets your better ranking, won't it? The Celtic.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's also for the Commonwealth silver, so it's actually
Oh yeah. Oh
two
yes,
titles
mate.
as well.
Yes.
So listen, it's even better than I was expecting. So to be fighting for these titles, brilliant. This is what I came back for, and I'm just really looking forward to it now.
And then of course you've got Connor Quinn, who's not seven knockouts, 7 wins, 4 knockouts with 1 draw. Of course, he is ranked fourth. Well, on BoxRec, but BoxRec don't always rely on. You can't rely on BoxRec rankings because the other day I saw Tyson Fury was. Daniel Dubois was second and Fury was third. I mean, after the Daniel Dubois Usyk fight, you should have seen. But so they don't always get it right. But on BoxRec, it said he's fourth and you're 14th, which is it's harsh. But is this your first fight at your natural weight?
Yeah, so like I say, the last two fights I've actually weighed in between flyweight and super flyweight, but I don't actually think Connor Quinn's even made super flyweight, let alone flyweight. So, listen, I wouldn't look too much into the weight at the moment. He obviously can make that weight if he's took the fight at that, and I just really looking forward to it now.
What do you know about Connor Quinn?
Obviously, seen a wee bit in the start when the name first get mentioned. To be honest with you, it's all about me. I'm just focusing on myself. I've put in the work in the camp, and the best me beats the best Connor Quinn, in my opinion. And I will see what Saturday brings.
It is like he has those knockouts, but do you feel like you're like the first kind of step up test sort of fighter?
I know he's had some of the knockouts, but I had seen a couple of the stoppages, and to be honest with you, they were very soft stoppages. So I'm not looking at it thinking he's going to come out here throwing bombs, with possibly going to stop me or anything like that. He might be a hard hitter, but when you're down at these weights, the flyweights and stuff don't tend to really stop guys unless you get the odd one here and there. So I'm not looking into that too much, But yeah, he's definitely a step up. He's unbeaten. He's had a good amateur pedigree, and I certainly my toughest test to date.
Because of course you have that common opponent, Brian Castro, because he fought him in August.
Yeah, so like I had kind of touched on when we were speaking about Castro there, I feel as if you actually watch myself fighting Castro, he was very much coming to win. And even a few guys, even before Quinn, you watch him box and he's very much on the back foot, doesn't get involved as much anymore, just playing the game. No disrespect to him for that. But I think when he first came over, that was his first fight in the UK and he was up for it, put it that way.
Yeah, because on their scorecard it like 60-54. Do you also look at, of course he's got that one draw on his record. Have you looked at that fight and do you see weaknesses with that fight, especially the one he drew to Darwin Martinez?
Listen, there's weaknesses in everybody. It's just part of the game. I don't even think I've seen that fight, to be honest with you. I'm sure he had a big layoff before that one. But listen, everybody's beatable. Do you know what I mean? Everybody's got weaknesses and everybody can get beat. So we'll see.
Do you think he'll be like looking at your, like, even though your defeat was back in 2014, do you think he'll try and be looking at that fight?
I don't think so with it being so long. I certainly think he's overlooking me anyway. I had just seen a few of his interviews previously, even before the fight came out with me as well. And since it's been out and he's already talking about British title fights, Commonwealth, world level. So if he wants to look past me, that's up to him. But I do feel he is very much looking past me, and we'll see what Saturday brings.
And well, you're going into, yeah, you would say you're going into the Lions Den, wouldn't you?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. I'm going into the Lions Den against a undefeated fighter, so all the pressure's on him. I'm taking a good crowd over with us. I've got over 50 folk coming over, so I'm actually really looking forward to it. And I know Belfast is they love their boxing over there, so I would, I'm sure they'll open their arms to me. Maybe no before the fight, but I'm sure after it. But yeah, I know it's a good boxing place, so I'm really looking forward to it.
Do you feel like, of course, we've seen a few in boxing recently over the last couple of months, we've seen some dodgy decisions. Does that play a factor in your mind? Like, do you feel like you have to stop Conor Quinn?
Nah, listen, I don't. The judges, I don't have any control over the judges, so there's no point in looking into stuff you can't control. I just concentrate on me and the right only, and then we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. Yeah, obviously being the away fighter, you might need to do a wee bit more, but I'm willing to put in the effort and hopefully we can get the decision if it is a close one.
Mm-hmm. And I presume camp's over now. It's fight week. And how did camp go overall? All good?
Camp's been amazing. Yeah, I've had a really good camp. Aye, no complaints with the camp. It's been a good one. Obviously, I had get married just a few weeks ago, a couple of weeks back there. Ideally, it would have been good to not have that till after the fight, but when these opportunities come up, sometimes you've just got to work around it. But yeah, listen, no complaints. Camp's been really good. Get the last couple of days, get a wee check weigh in tomorrow, get that out the way, and then it's just just keeping sharp and getting ready for the weigh in on Friday.
Mm-hmm. Are you in like when you go into Belfast? Are you in Belfast at the minute, or when you flying over?
Thursday night we're flying over to Belfast, so I'll have another training session tomorrow, and then I'll probably do a training session on Thursday before we fly over, and then that's it.
Is it a day before weighing? Like, is it the title fight?
Yeah, so the weigh-in will be at 1 o'clock on the Friday, and then the fight's obviously on the Saturday. So yeah, it's like a two-part thing. You look forward to getting the weigh-in done. Once that's out the way, refuel, and then you can start focusing on the fight a bit more.
Do you have like a particular like routine on fight day, or like a day before? Do you just have a routine? Like when you wake up, do you always like is the first thing on your mind the fight? Do you think about the fight all day? And is it hard to get your fight yeah like your mind off the fight during the day? Or
Nah, it's kind of not really. No, I'm no one for set routines and doing stuff a certain way. Don't get me wrong. We think always in fight week, you're just kind of looking forward to the weigh-in. Then the weigh-in's out the way, as I say, you get to refuel and then it's focused on the fight. But no change for normal. And I don't have a particular routine I like to stick to. I just go about my business as I normally would. Of course, you have times that you're thinking about the fight, as I'm sure every fighter does. But no, I don't have a set routine or anything that I like to follow.
mm-hmm. What does the Celtic title mean to you? Like, what does the title mean?
The Celtic or the Commonwealth, any title at all, it would mean a lot. Just to earn something like that. I think I've said that before, maybe even in my last interview. It's all right. You can try and make money in life and do things, but when you actually achieve something that money can't buy, that's what I'm aiming for. So it would mean a hell of a lot, and I've put a lot of sacrifice and a lot of work into this camp. So it would be a huge achievement, one of the biggest achievements in my life probably to date if I get my hand raised,
What
which I'm very confident getting into the fight.
So do you believe you win the fight by knockout, or at the end of the day, you're not like at the end of the day you're just the main thing is that you get your hand raised. That's just the goal, isn't it?
That's it. That's it. And if anything else happens, then that's a bonus. But it's one round at a time, and just take it there and see what happens.
Of course you've done well 8 rounds, 6 rounds before, but do you feel like when you go into if the fight does go into the later like 7, 8, 9, 10, do you think that's where you'll come on stronger? Do you think he'll try and start fast, or just see what it is on the night?
See what it is in the night, but you know, I've trained for 10, 12 hard rounds, so I'm more than fit to go the distance. So very much trained for all the rounds. Whether we need them all, we'll wait and see. But no, I'm in tip top shape and ready to rumble.
What are you expecting from Connor?
Expect unexpected, pretty much. Expect unexpected. He wants to come fighting. He might box. He might switch. Whatever he's got, I'm expecting the unexpected. So no surprises. Just face what's in front of me in the night and go from there.
And what can what can your fan I mean, what can fans in attendance and people watching at home supporting you, what can they expect from you?
A very entertaining fight. If they've seen any of my previous fights, they'll know that I'm not involved in any boring fights. So I'm sure it'll be an all-out war.
And have you got a message to your supporters who are coming over to support you?
I just very, very much appreciated to each and every one of them coming over, because it's obviously a large number from Scotland, over 50. They've got their accommodation, their flights. So I am incredibly grateful to everybody that's bought tickets and made the effort to come over and support me. Because without them, it's, you know, they're an extra. It's like having that wee bit extra when your fans are there, especially when you're going into the Lions Den. It's good to have a bit of support there as well.
And do you want to thank manager, just anybody, trainer, anybody?
All my promoter, my own promoter, the promoter that's arranged this fight, Mark Dunlop, for giving me the opportunity. All my sponsors that's came on board for this camp, and just everybody that's there to support me. Each and every single person, thanks very much, and it is very much appreciated. So hopefully I can bring back those belts, and that's my token to show that it was all worth it.
And from me, a massive good luck, mate, and all the best Saturday night.
Brilliant. Thanks very much. Take care.
Thank you, mate. Good luck.
Cheers.